So, black men have a terrible problem with living for pleasure and not thinking. Now, one of the first things I think we can look at and we can obviously tell there's a significant number of black men who don't care to be somebody, who don't care to do anything in life. They rather just live to feel good all the time. And logically that makes sense. You can understand that, but in the real world, you understand that you really don't get anything. You don't get that far without going against yourself, going against how you feel. And I really want to emphasize the not thinking part, because we have to look at a lot of the historic context of a lot of people. They just do things, they don't think about it, because a lot of the times we're not thinking because somebody else is thinking for us. Somebody else is planning out our life for us, and other people planning out your life is not the way to go, because you're gonna always have a miserable life that way, a slave like life that way, when you're not making your own decisions. Somebody above you is making decisions for you. This is why I'm not the smartest guy, right? I'm not the most academically you know, good type of dude. I'm not in that space where I'm just super smart, right? But I do care about being somebody in life. I do care about being successful. I do care about helping the community and actually just being somebody who did a little bit more than just go to work, come back home, and not do anything. We need more men who actually want to live for something bigger than themselves. And why not the best way to do that is just to be for your community, be for building your community, be a good example. And that's one thing I want to be too. I want to be a good example, right? And there's just a lot of things. There's a lot of men like this, but we're all scattered around. And I think it's very few men who actually come together and try to do something about it. But a lot of the times it's through religion, it's through a lot of things that can cause infiltration, where we can't really get the message out how we're supposed to, and a lot of just problems within that. But that's another conversation for another day about religion and all that, or that's a future video. But the thing that I really want to just really emphasize even more is just we have to have more men wanting to be somebody, wanting to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And we have to use logic with that, because if you don't use logic when you're trying to be a part of something bigger than yourself, you just throw yourself at anything. You throw yourself at any religion. You throw yourself at any type of coming together of people, when really we got to use logic with it. And then on top of that, we have to make sure it's built on something that's going to last long. It can't be built on just trying to get more women, or make more money. Obviously, those things have a place, right? They have a place. And being with a woman is meant for you. It's not always a bad thing. It's not a bad thing in general. And getting money isn't a bad thing, but it has to be built on something just not that's not superficial. And one thing I want to do in the future is just really build a community of black men where we actually want to be somebody. I'm one of those guys that wants to go against the stereotyping and these things that are put out to make us seem like we're dumber than we are, where to make us seem something that we're not, make us seem like something that we're not. And just as I've gotten older, I've really looked at the people that I've been around. I've looked at what the music sound like. I've looked at all this stuff, and I'm the last person that's gonna be like, y'all gotta act this way and not act that way. And right, I'm not trying to act like another race. I'm not trying to act white or another race, right? I'm not trying to be like that. But what I am trying to look at is like, how can we improve our community? I've always been a person that looked at the bigger scale of things, and I always looked at the future. A lot of the times, even if I wasn't doing what I was supposed to, I would always look at the future of things. And I think that's a very valuable trait, because very often you see people get into things. You see a lot of black men, they don't look at the long term future. They don't look at the long term future. They look at what's the next best thing I can get, right? Because when you look at making videos or you look at saving your money, look at anything that is long term, it's always harder to do. And I just want to really emphasize this with black men, because black men, I feel like we're at the bottom of the hierarchy, or of the economic success, the economic rating or whatever. We're just at the bottom, and we have to understand that it starts with the culture. It starts with building the mind and the confidence of people, and we have to weave out what is our culture and weave out what the men need to be like, weave out what the woman needs to be like. And I think just one of those important things is that remember that you have something to live for. That's what's going to give you a purpose and allow you to start thinking and not be a zombie or a slave to, the matrix, or slave to just what the world is doing, right? You don't want the world to be happening to you. You want to be happening to the world. You want to be putting yourself out there. You want to be doing something. You don't want to be a person just mindless, just coasting in life, and you don't care, right? Because that's the last type of person I want to be, right? That's one thing that the black men need to really get a grip on. Stop just thinking about girls and money and looking cool. Stop caring about that all the time. Because I care about women. I like women. You know what I'm saying? But I think that in me, because it's other stuff I can get into about my personal life. But I would say just one of the things that I always think about is, like, imagine, okay, you can have kids, you can have a family, but always as a man, it's like I don't look at a family and I don't look at certain things. This kind of goes into the category of having a purpose and thinking. I don't look at having a family and kids and all that as something that's like a personal. It's more of it's I don't view it on the scale of success. It's more of a thing that's like interpersonal, like it's just relationships and building relationships, right? Which is an important thing. But I think that there's so many men who think that all their life is just raising kids and having a family. When I think that when we kind of, like I said, we start opening up and we start looking at the whole scale of stuff, and we stop having a small mind. Just a lot of people just have that mind of, oh, I'm just gonna be the leader and protector of my family, the leader and protector of my kids and my wife. When really you can be the leader and protector of your community. You can be the leader and protector of your city, of your state, of your country, of the world. But our minds are too small a lot of the times, and we think that, oh, it's just gonna be my family, right? And I think while I'm young and I don't have a girlfriend and I don't have kids, um I look at the world in that way more. And I think that that's the goal that a lot of younger men need to go towards: coming together. Stop being an enemy. Stop making that black man be an enemy. Stop pushing the black man away. You know, I feel like I look at a lot of people that I used to have friendships with, and it's like, man, I want us to come together and do something positive in the world and build something together, right? Because that's how real change get done. Not when I do something by myself, but when I do something with everybody else and with like-minded men. So that's pretty much all I got to say. Peace out.